Hello, my name is Father John, and this is finishing my 10th session with Dr. Jodie. When I first came here, some of the main symptoms I was most concerned about, I had a very, very tight body, very rigid body, which has been true most of my life, actually. Secondly, I had a real problem with constipation, a real problem with twitching in my right side, a problem with watery and itchy and eyes, and a problem generally with just being totally inflamed. My whole body has always suffered from a lot of inflammation. And the other things that have been a concern for me basically is my energy level at times is very exhausted. I've been burnt out many times in my life, and it's always a question. Ever since I was a little boy, I would go through periods of it, but I've always been very, very hyperactive, and yet I would get burnt out, then come back. And since I've come here, being a scientist, I don't totally understand all the philosophy and the medical knowledge of neurology and the brain, but I do look for, as a scientist, is results. And so far as I've seen results here in 10 days, in the 10 sessions, I have lost 11 pounds, so that's and not without trying. Secondly, I feel myself much lighter. And thirdly, there's just a sense of my whole body is beginning to function better. Some of the areas still have some serious problems, but the one thing Dr. Jodie has helped me understand is the source of these problems, and that there is a cause. Dr. Jodie is very warm. He's very sensitive and very personable, and that helps a lot too. His personality, and he's always very, very caring. And he goes out of his way, really takes that extra mile to be with you, to answer questions, even though they may be repetitive. So in general, I just find his approach is very, very helpful. As far as other improvements, I think, number one, I find that urination now has become more normal, which was a problem. Before, when I came here, at times, I've had very frequent urination. And second, so sometimes, for example, I have to go 5 minutes later, so it was not totally voided.
Yes.
Secondly, I was at times be a very weak stream, especially during the day. Now urination is a very strong flow finally. Number three, now I feel like I can retain normally urine. I don't have to. In the past, I've always concerned about if I'm driving, frequently I had to stop along the way. If I have an hour trip, I have to stop along the way.
Sure.
Fourthly, there were times I was so urgent, it was just uncontrollable. And I haven't felt that since I've been here. So those are positive signs. So my bladder, I think, is working better, because I think it was more a bladder issue than it was a prostate issue, but both are involved. So I think this is a sign that both those organs are healing and strengthened. Also, I think my whole body is lighter. My movement is much easier. Well, Dr. Jodie first of all, he does spend a lot of time with each patient. Number two, he spends quality time too. But he also does it in a light way, with a sense of humor. He also does it in a very caring way, and he's very encouraging, affirming, and also, I said, gives you hope, because he really constantly reminds you that of your progress you are making, that he's aware of. And secondly, he's also letting you know that things are possible. That his treatment is working, and it could continue to work. I come out of a family of 7 doctors and 7 nurses in my extended family.
Oh, good.
So I've been around medicine my whole life.
Yes.
So I'm very, very familiar with medicine. The other thing I also am aware of, that since I'm a licensed psychotherapist, I was for 35 years. I no longer practice. Well, I still practice, but not efficient anymore. Dr. Jodie gives hope to everyone. And as I've understood, talking to other people who have come to know him, that there's probably no condition that can't be somewhat improved. And secondly, he's always willing to work in a deeper way with patients that no other doctor works with, in the sense that there are certain issues that most doctors give up on. If you don't have a healthy body, it's hard, for example, to pray. Before I came here, two former patients of Dr. Jodie approached me and strongly encouraged me to see him because they told me in their case that he was the only one that would deal with their problems because most doctors gave up on them. So I came to realize that Dr. Jodie had a very special knowledge and understanding that most doctors don't have. And that's one of the reasons, and also because I've heard so much about the consequences, the results in patients who have come to him. They've been very positive. And above all, too, people who do come to him seem to be joyous, seem to be uplifted. They're not just medically well, they also feel like they're a different person, and they're more alive and more energetic in general at every level. So that was another reason to come here.